Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode of Matcha Talk. I'll be talking with storyboard artist and comic book artist André Smith. I have had the wonderful fortune of working with André on my animated series, Bad Day Kate. You can see his work with Billy and also with Jack. He's truly incredibly talented, and I'm so very excited to talk with him and share his journey with you. So everybody, grab your matchas and get ready for Matcha Talk with André Smith. Hello everyone, and welcome to this wonderful episode of Matcha Talk with the amazing André Smith. He's a storyboarder and comic book artist, and I have had the great fortune to work with him. Welcome, André.
Thanks for having me, Mary. Building me up a little too much right there, but
No, not at all, sir.
I don't want to disappoint anybody.
No, that would never happen, by the way. You truly are, I'm so excited to have you on my Matcha Talk because your work is incredible, André. From, the work you've done on Kate, Kate and Jack in the mirror, which is just like one of my favorite scenes. It just always
Okay.
makes me smile. Um, and just working with you on those scenes and collaborating. And I'm so excited. You are drinking matcha.
Yeah, it's the first time drinking it. I mean, I usually drink green tea sometimes,
Yeah.
and trying to go the healthy route.
Yes.
Uh, Drinking things raw now, no sugar, and so it's bitter, but I mean, it's how you feel after. It's boring, I stopped drinking soda, drinking water, black coffee, and green tea, and maybe start drinking this now. So.
Yes. Excellent. It is definitely an energy and health kick, which you need because, you're busy, right? So, congratulations on your way to being married, which is so exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, we're both excited. Yeah.
As you should be. It's amazing. And planning a wedding, and then you're busy, working, and we're going to talk about what you're working on as well. But I just want to kind of get a background on you and how you got into animation and storyboarding. And, your comic book art is absolutely incredible. So let us know a little bit about you and your background.
Okay, well, I'm originally from Louisiana, so I'm a southerner. And I've been drawing since as young as I can remember, 3 years old. I remember seeing old photos of me in my own little personal desk in the kitchen, drawing crayons and everything. Just drawing a lot in school, getting compliments from teachers saying how much attention to detail that I had as a kid. And of course, I was inspired by cartoon shows growing up, the Batman animated series show. And others, like Justice League and such, Spider-Man. And I just kept on drawing. It's just been something I've been doing for fun for most of my life. And not until towards high school where I decided to maybe take it a little more seriously. Um, and I've been reading some comics and watching more shows. And eventually I went to college for fine arts, but then I transferred over to the Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia for graduate school. And from there, it was like a crash course in the sequential art where I learned about comic art as well as storyboarding for film and television. And since then, I've been working freelancing for small independent projects and such. And yeah, it's been great.
I know. And as I was saying, it's so incredible to collaborate with you and work with you because your ideas are fantastic. So, just kind of going through a scene with you and then, getting ideas and you're like, oh, let's do this and this. And what I love is that you love action. You do. And
I
it's
said they were, yes.
and it's so fun because, definitely Kate has a lot of action. And that's what's so cool about and great about animation is that you can really just go all out.
Right.
You just have no limits to the imagination that you can do in creating a scene. So and creating scenes that have action in them is a little bit more challenging than it is just your straight storyboard. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. It's hard for me to really describe since a lot of it is just like, okay, just my process, I guess, when it comes to action is just trying to get as much information, down, like how to make things clear for the viewer, show them exactly what's going on, and just really come up with ways to make it very dynamic and interesting because there's always shows that, do some kind of action and,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine, but it's like, you want to elevate to the next level so people will be like, oh, wow, I remember that. That was great. But at
Right.
the same time, action is not the most important thing when it comes to a project. Of course, it's always the story, it's always the characters, it's always the context behind it that helps elevate it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I like action from a technical standpoint, but at the same time, it's not the main focus. It's just like the icing on the cake. So the
Mm.
story, the characters, and plot is the cake, and then the
Yeah.
icing is what helps it make it taste better. And I grew up eating a lot of icing when I was a kid. So it's just like whenever I go to a restaurant or something, like have like some icing or like Cool Whip, I would
Right.
just get like a whip of that and just
Just
eat it, or like container icing and just eat that off a spoon.
Oh, I love it. I'm just like picturing it. I'm like, yes, icing is the best. It's like you save the cakey part and you're just like having the sugar.
You just eat around the cake.
Just,
Just
I know. Just cut that top off, right? But
yeah,
you're absolutely right, and it's so fun, especially because you've done boards and animatics for Jack, on Kate, which is just I was talking to Max, and it's just to see him really come to life and to have you bring his personality out and and really just bring these characters to life is just sheer joy, right? And you know them, and when you put them together, what's your process like when you're given a scene and you're kind of walk through what he's doing, what his personality's like, all that great stuff? How do you kind of what's your creative process and going about creating the scene?
so a lot of times, whenever I get a scene, especially when there's audio to it,
Yeah.
that actually kind of helps it. I can have a much clearer idea. So whenever he's talking, a lot of times I kind of imitate. Okay, he's saying this. How what would facial expressions be? So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, it's like, come on, Kay. He's like, ah, he's like, hi. I
Right.
just really try to get into it, and oh, excuse me. And a lot of times when I'm creating like the illustration storyboards for it, I'm making the facial expressions. So he's like,
Right.
so a lot of times, like when I'm really thinking hard about something or like an idea face, I'm making a face, and if someone comes by, it's like, you're okay. I'm just like, I'm just drawing. I'm like, yeah, it looks like you are. So I get the audio,
Yeah.
and that it gives me a better idea, and also like the body language, and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like how they would feel, and just and it's all about how they convey.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like whenever that part whenever they break up under the tree,
Right.
Keith is standing there,
The
it's like
link. Yeah.
something I have to tell you. It's just she's just kind of being calm and just kind of I guess like nervous but still like determined, and
Mm-hmm.
Mac is just like doing his thing. He's like, come on, and even when he's training her, the
Yes.
black Mac is just he really like, come on, Ken, come on, he's like, oh,
Right. You can
it's
do this.
you can do this, like no.
No, you're crazy. No, absolutely. Yes. Go.
And yeah, and so I think of how they act, and then like how to piece it together, like certain shots, just to certain focuses on certain things where they seem together, but then like focus on her, like something I have to tell you, and it's like it's really hard for me to describe, but it's like there's a certain kind of shot that where there's certain focus on something, or it's just the character or the character in the foreground, the background,
Mm-hmm.
certain angles. It helps give certain kind of atmosphere to it, and
Right.
also play on comedy, like a little moment like he walks away, it's like you never get a like that, walks off, comes back. I'm on my web out back, it just comes
Right.
up on screen. Yeah. So it's also kind of like timing of things too, like with
Mm.
the visuals as well. Like some shots you gotta hold on to because a lot of comedy is based on like holding shots, and so adding little comedic moments, even to little dramatic moments like that, just kind of help give a little flavor into the scene.
Yes, definitely. I'm like completely smiling because all these scenes, definitely, picturing them and the way that, you put them together and the boards, and then the animatics and, the music and everything, the voiceover, just all of it working together. And I always say it takes, a big village, right, to do an animation. From, yeah, you have, your storyboards, and you have the animatics, you have, of course, voiceovers, music, and then it goes into the animation department, which then, is a whole other journey. But there's nothing better than animation, especially for a creator to create, because your imagination has no bounds. You think about it. Exactly. You're like, you can make it happen, right? And yeah, and that's just the best for me. So tell me about you, because I want to know about you, Andre, and what you're working on, what you want to share, because we talked about, of course, animation and storyboards, and now I want to talk about comic book art. So, you have an amazing, comic series that you're working on. And I want you to share what you can with us, because I'm super excited. And just the artwork that you've created for it gets me excited, because it's absolutely beautiful. It'll be on my website, so everyone will be able to see it. So talk to me about it. Like, talk to me about your comic series, No Play.
Okay, so No Play is essentially a story about these two brothers, an older brother named Aaron and a younger brother named Nate. They're just living on their own. The older brother is just working. He's trying to support his brother while he's going to school and having fun. And yeah, his younger brother Nate, he's like really into superheroes because they're superheroes, and at where they live. But they live outside of the city, so they're away from most of the danger. And his older brother, he's not really as fond of them, and he's just wanting to, just focus on working and all and whatnot. Because I guess he's kind of like bitter towards certain superheroes because they work all as much and I guess they're kind of egotistical and they get all this praise and I guess money thrown at them or something. But one day he randomly gets superpowers, and so he was like, he gets superpowers, and younger brother is saying, "Oh, you get to be a superhero, great!" Because he loves him. But his older brother's like, "Yeah, but I just want to focus on work, this and that, and it'll be hard for me to get noticed, and um, you know, and he has like a negative thought towards him. Um, and he thinks that they might not be around for money or anything like that towards there, but he's like, come on man, you can do it. And so he goes out and does it for his brother, make him happy, because things are kind of hard for them. They're trying to get some money, but his older brother's trying to be there to make him happy, so he goes out and does it for him. And so it's kind of like it's a superhero story, but it's not exactly solely superheroes. It's not just like, villain of the day, this and that. It's all about the story between these two characters and their interaction between themselves and what goes on around them. And it was inspired by kind of like how I grew up, where it's a lot of times where I grew up, everyone had all these dreams. Like my friends when we were kids, like astronaut, race car driver, and tame tigers, whatever. And whenever we get older, it's just things are like, they kind of lose sight of those dreams and they just, get these jobs. And I'm not saying they're not happy, but it's just when you get older, you just have this kind of realization, and not many people can go and chase their dreams. And so I guess like the characters are kind of a reflection of me. The younger brother is kind of like me as a kid, and the older brother is like me now, and how we approach things, kind of like the inner conflict, between myself, I guess. And so and plus, I guess superhero thing to have some kind of cool fun and going on. And yeah, I mean, I like superhero stories. They're fun, and it's just good. And that's something like I'm working on slowly. I just have like the first 3 pages up. I have like most of page 4 finished. I just kind of post up just to show some action because I just really like that page. And yeah, I'm trying to have more soon. Once I'm trying to have more up soon once things are kind of died down with my busy schedule.
Yeah. And, Andre, I love that you brought that up because, dreams and us having, dreams and, as you get older, whatever life happens, it's kind of like some of them get parked, but I think what's most important is that you realize that just because you are where you are doesn't mean that you can bring that dream out and work on that and nurture that because that's such an important part of who you are and your voice, no matter what it is, whether it's animation, writing, music, painting, that you take that time that is yours and you really nurture that.
Exactly. So yes, right now, like I'm working freelance on the side while I have a full-time job. Excuse me. And I mean, one day I would like to do this full-time job, of course, but at least I still
And
get
you
to.
will.
Yeah. But at the very least, I'm happy just doing what I can, or at the very least, just working on my webcomic. Even like trying to work on some more animations, because even a lot of my storyboards, there's animatics, and I try and incorporate certain animations in it because I want to like show us specifically what I envision as possible. Because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, camera turn 180, this, that, this."
Right.
Like I hate having to type all that in. I'm like, why don't I just show it to where it's like car flying off a building into another building. The camera is slowly turning clockwise, counterclockwise, and and
Yeah.
everything, and and so I try to incorporate those things and land and smashes, and I try to draw all that. It's really fun. I guess it's like trying to like try to want to be a little animator while I'm making animatics because it's not necessary, but it makes things a lot clearer for the viewer and for
Yes.
the clients.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just like following along and just shining. Like I just
With my hands whenever I'm talking.
I love it. I do the same thing. I always talk with my hands. It's just how we express ourselves, and but I love it. You are, and especially having the great fortune of working with you. And and just hearing, like I said, your ideas, and when you're working, and I'll be like, okay, what do you think? Do you have any questions? You're like, oh, how about this and this? And it's just like you really do bring the world to life, right? Because you see all areas, and you do think like in this shot, and what if I can show it without just like writing it out, I can actually show it in that board.
Yeah, I try to be as specific as possible, make things as clear as possible for the director and the
Right.
clients, and that we get a clear idea. Because yeah, I recently finished working on a project with a guy and with an animatic. And it's funny, he approached me, he was like, I saw you working, for the love of God, give me 2 seconds. He's like building me up. I'm like, I'm just a regular guy who likes to, who happens to be okay at drawing. And
Yeah, I would say, I
so,
would say
and then like,
so.
he has these ideas down,
Uh-huh.
and then he's like, I want to try to do this. I'm like, okay. He was like, oh wow, he's like, you actually went full animation. I was like, yeah,
That's what I do.
I guess it gets just to get the ideas across. It's like you got it. I'm not trying to bounce myself at least. It's just I think it feels good. I love
It's
being able,
okay that you do.
I love being able to do like best I can and make everyone happy, make the client happy, and just try and go above and beyond, and I guess put my flair in it that they just happen to like.
Mm-hmm. And love. Yes,
And
definitely.
they praise me. They you know
And it's okay to say thank you because you do.
I,
You work hard. You do. When you work, Andre, you do. You put your heart in it, and it shows in your work. You do. You can see work that just has that love put into it, that care, and that expression. And I just I'm over the moon with your work because it truly does. I know that whatever you're creating, it's just going to be absolutely wonderful. So, and you give a lot to your work. You have a lot going on. You're planning a wedding, which you're going to get, in a few months, right? We're having a summer wedding.
well, actually, it's not summer. It's going to be in November, actually.
Oh, November. I don't know why I was thinking July. November is even better. That's the late fall. That's my birthday time, and Jason and I got married in December, so that's
Yeah, yeah,
exciting. Yes.
yeah.
So So a little bit of breathing room. So tell me how everything is going with that, because, you have this beautiful fiance. You're doing all of these different, this different work and art, and still working on your own comic series. So how do you balance everything out? How
I
does
don't.
Andre?
Uh,
So
uh,
lots
so
of these.
lots of coffee, no sleep, and pray that you don't
Okay.
pick this up at work.
I know.
Um, so yeah, it's just while so right now, she's still living with her parents. I'm living by myself at the moment. That way, I can focus on work, working my job, and also working on my freelance, to help pay for the wedding and just other things,
Yeah,
and just help let out my creativity as well.
absolutely.
And so it's just, I don't know, I just there's a lot of late nights where I'm not getting any sleep, and I take like an hour of sleep, but then like the birds start chirping in the morning, it drives me nuts, and I'm just like, well, I'm sleeping for 1 hour tonight,
Guess I'm
and
getting up.
yeah, drinking tea and drinking coffee, going,
But
but I have to admit, it feels very satisfying once I do finish a project, no matter how tired
yeah.
I am. I remember one time in grad school, I literally stayed up. I think it was like Saturday, Sunday. I stayed up from noon,
Mm-hmm.
started working at noon, worked straight till 6 o'clock the next morning, nonstop. They even like I'd had like snacks with me for supper, and I would get up and walk around for a few minutes, use the bathroom. Other than that, I kept on working, and I was exhausted, and that I felt satisfied. That I was exhausted, but I'm like I feel accomplished,
Yeah.
and of course the director she really loved it, and I was really happy. She was happy with it, especially since she approached me at very short notice, like it's due in a few days. It's like, well, goodbye, sleep.
I'll check in with you later, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna show myself off from the rest of the world for a few days and finish this.
And you know what? Hearing that, it's so wonderful, because just you even talking about that, and you were so in the creative zone. Like you were completely in the creative zone, and I'm sure like as those hours went, you didn't even realize it, because it was just something that was, even though you were working really really hard, it was something that just like was completely, connecting with your soul and your creativity, which I think is most important. And that's why I say, how do you give to yourself? So you have a beautiful family, you have and which gives to you, and sometimes you have to just like put the phone down, put the computer away, right, and really have that family time and connect to your love in your life, which is the most important. And even though you have as much sleep as you can, because when you're busy and you have a lot going on, that couple of hours is important, but then also what you do throughout the day that fuels your energy, where it's eating well and making sure you're drinking the right things, and eating the right things, and really making sure that you stay healthy, because you are so busy, right? So, which is
I
super
do.
important.
Oh, sorry.
No, go.
So yeah, I always try. I've been like a health nut for the last few years. I think almost a
I
decade.
know.
I started exercising, and of course, that makes me feel good too. And so it's just a lot of times I'm honestly I'm kind of a boring guy. I so
Oh, I wouldn't say
well,
that.
it's just like me and my fiance. We just we're I mean we go out sometime, but it's never like we have to go out and get out of the house. We literally enjoy sitting around talking with each other, or just
Yeah.
watching some movies or shows, because she's kind of on the creative side too when it comes to storytelling and everything. I try and get to watching some shows, watching Better Call Saul, and I was like, I love this shot, love this shot, love this part. And at first she was like, but then she's like, oh wow, it really is good. And so she's getting into that as well. I'm putting my creativity in her head and
Hmm.
corrupting hers.
No,
That's
you are inspiring her.
exactly okay. That's,
Inspiring her.
that's a good way to cover it up. Thank you. Anyways,
And I think that's really important. When you find that person and you can be quiet together, and you don't need to go out anywhere, and you can just spend time alone, with each other, and watching that really wonderful film, or just listening to music together, whatever it is that you're doing, cooking together. which is wonderful as well. So really, it's, you've met the right one, and your other half, and there's nothing like it in the world. I mean, truly, it's the most important thing. Um,
Especially, well,
yeah.
especially when she's happy, like okay with me drawing comics and cartoons for part-time job, potentially full-time job. It's great, because I didn't grow up with any art friends. I just did this for fun, and a lot of my friends like, oh, that's dumb and this and that, and so I just kind of kept to myself. I was like, yeah, it's dumb. and,
Right, exactly.
and so it's kind of refreshing where she's like, wow, that's really good, that's great. I'm like, oh, it makes me feel great as well, and sharing these ideas with someone, and have a lot of this creativity to share, and it's great. And so I just either go spend time with her, or I'm just here working, doing freelancing, or working my job, and that's really it. I'm totally happy with that. It's just I'm it doesn't take a lot to make me happy.
Well, it's because you have the most important things that make you happy, right? You have your wonderful partner, and who loves you, loves your work, what you do, your voice, and you get to share that with her, and also open up her creativity too, because we are all creative beings. I mean, we really, really are, and you get to share that with each other. I know for me, that's the best. Is when I write something or share something with Jason, or he's doing a piece of music, and that creativity together is just completely inspiring. There's nothing like it, and it's what life is about, and love. And of course, the love of my babies, who are my heart and my muse.
I've never really seen your
My
babies.
Rico, Zen, Patty, and Bella. Oh, you'll see them, and we'll do more talks
Sure.
in upcoming, yes, in upcoming Matcha talks. Um, yeah, they literally are my inspiration, and there's no better joy than, no matter how tired I am or whatever is happening, and that beautiful love is in my life at all times. It's like everything else is all good. It just
Exactly.
doesn't matter, and that's what it's about. And that's why I asked, how do you fill your cup, and how do you give to Andre, who, gives to everybody else, and what you can share with other artists. Like you were saying, you may not have enough time, or you've kind of shelved that idea from years ago that maybe got you excited, when you were younger, or whatever it is, and other people looking to you to say, wow, I used to maybe want to do that, and here's Andre, and he's doing that. So, what can you share with other artists, or, actually, everyone really is an artist inside, depending on what they want to do. But how would you inspire them to say, hey, this is what I know and what I've learned, and how I've kind of seen these different things.
Really, it's just determination,
Mm-hmm.
and just the love of the passion of what you're working on, whether it would be drawing or anything. It could be
Mm-hmm.
carpentry, playing music. Um, it's just being devoted to spend some time with it, and having it there to I guess in a way at the very least just making me happy.
Yes.
Because it just the fact of me doing this, just it makes me happy. Just because you just need to get it out.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, especially if it terms for doing this as a career, it's just really, again, determination. Work hard. Keep working every day, even if it's just a little bit, a few minutes every day. It makes a big difference.
Yes.
Um, Ask others for criticism, whether it be online or people that you know. Try to go into figure drawing class, go to places that inspire, and go online, look at certain artists or certain like tutorials, just devoting time to it, and being determined, never like slack off on it in any way. Just like, okay, I'm gonna devote a little time doing this and like that, and you'll eventually get better, you'll improve. Because that's a lot of times what I've done after grad school. There's still a lot of things that I need to learn, and just devoting time to it to help me improve my craft and get better, work faster, and come up with more creative ideas, to show it for people. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, that's very well said. And, and it is just taking that time for you, and yes.
And there's another thing too. Is uh, I don't know, to sound a bit cheesy, I guess, but
Oh, I love cheesy. Vegan cheese, of course.
okay, well, work hard, but still like devote time to the people you love.
Yes.
Who love you, support you, and that's one of the best feelings too. It's having everyone there to support you for your love of the craft that you do, and that'll make your work even better because you just know you have everyone behind your back and supporting you, and it just makes things that much more fun and life that much better.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. And there's nothing better than having that love and support. Absolutely. And sometimes, you have to be your own support, right? You have to be your own um,
You have to motivate.
cheerleader, life coach.
Yeah, you have to motivate yourself. I mean, there's
Yes,
plenty
you
of
do.
days
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I feel like, no, I don't feel like doing this, or just block this and that. But it's kind of funny. Sometimes I'll start a project and I feel like I'm not in the best of grooves. But, when I keep working and working, then it's just like things are just coming a lot faster, coming
Yeah.
out better. Just like, oh, I'm in the groove now. So it's just committing to yourself, devoting time to it, improving your craft, and never let up on that. Even it's just getting a napkin and drawing a few sketches, figure drawing or perspective, whatever, just to help you get your brain still going. It's like any other tool that you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a muscle. You gotta keep training it and keep it
Mm-hmm.
strong. And if you don't keep training that muscle, it eventually will weaken and it won't be as strong as it was before.
Absolutely. You're so right. And you were saying determination, persistence, patience, all of those are really, really important, and to keep doing it, especially when you don't want to. There are some times when you're like, oh, there's all these excuses. That's exactly when you should do it. And to keep doing it, right? And to do what you can with where you are. So
Exactly.
you're going to get there eventually. That's going to happen because you're doing all the right things, you're staying creative, and most of all, because of the joy that it brings you, and
Right.
that you want to share that with others, and have them just enjoy it as much as you do creating it.
Right, exactly. And always work to improve as well. Try new things. Let other things inspire you. It doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be just like for me, it's not just comic books or just storyboards. A lot of times it could be, it's from film, from television, other genres I'm not familiar with, or even like just completely random things, just like, architecture or music. Just something that sparks that, think of something, remind you of something, and then all of a sudden it gives you creative ideas and it just like grab little pieces of everything because that's really what art is. It's just
Yeah.
borrowing things and putting together into your own little mix.
That's right. Absolutely. I love that. I was like,
Option.
matcha. I know. I was just like nodding along. I'm like, oh yes, I second cup. Yeah. No, that's absolutely, absolutely right. And and I think that's what's most important is that you just do at least a little bit every day, but definitely honor that voice. And like you said, the more that you do it, and you'll surprise yourself in all of the things that you'll start creating and all the inspiring thoughts that will come to you, and then you can't wait to get up, and you can't wait, you don't, you're like, oh, I don't need that much sleep, I'm in the zone, I'm like, right, I'm like, I gotta
Yeah,
write this, or I gotta like, sketch this, or whatever your idea is. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about.
exactly.
So definitely. So in the future, the very near future, you are going to be a married husband. Congratulations! You're going to join the married crew. I'm so excited.
Ma-
Love. Me and Love.
yeah.
She's like, yay! Somewhere over there, her ears are ringing. I'm so excited. And I have to know, you have to share with us how you all met.
I love how it's like a podcast about me and my craft, and then all we're just
I
now
know.
can't.
Well,
Oh,
I did. I did. Yes, I have to know. You had Rachel and Richard. They're engaged as well, and I had to share their story and how they met. And Yeah, for me, love at first sight with my beautiful hubby Jay. So I want to know Andre's story.
I was just out randomly somewhere, and I just happened, to have a ring. I was like, that's kind of nice. Bump into her. She grabbed it and be like, "Is this for me?" I'm like, It's like, "Yeah, we're married." I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm stuck in this now." No, I'm kidding. No, we
You
met
just
on.
knew each other.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
any way you could say that, but we met online in an online dating site. I know some people are like, really? I'm like, yeah, we just met online. Um, you
Yes.
know, it's like the most random chance. It's like, oh, here's some other profiles. Like, like down below, you see like other new people or people who exist like on the site. I clicked one and she was there. I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't message because I don't know, just looking around the time. And then she saw me. Then she messaged me like a questionnaire, like nerdy stuff. What's your favorite superhero? Like what'd you like to do? For a night out, video games, movies, something like that. And I responded back, and we talked back and forth, and I was like, oh, I felt something, and we exchanged phone numbers like a couple days later, Skype information, Facebook, and then we just talked literally every night. And then eventually I went to go visit her, and from there, I moved here, found a job, and just been working, and just been happy ever since. It's
That
just
is
the most
awesome.
random of moments that we just met. And the thing is, like, I never met someone so compatible in my life. Where most of my life is like, yeah, I have friends and all. Um, but for her, it's like the first time I felt like, wow, I feel like I have a lot in common and connected with this person. It's
Mhm.
weird. It's like
Mhm.
I actually enjoy spending time with her. But a lot of times, I'm just after a while, I'm hanging out with people. I get, it's like I can interact and socialize, but after a while, it's like, okay, I need to rest. With her, it's like I can hang out all day and never get
All
tired of being
day.
around. That's the
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
That's and as it should be, right? Because you've met your other half. And that is so true. And I love hearing your story. I love hearing stories about love because that is how it happens. You never know, and when it happens, it's like, yes, wow. This is
Yeah.
it. This is exactly it. And and that's what life and love is all about. And I'm so excited for you, Andre. I really am. And I can't wait to see and hear all about your wedding journey because you're still in the planning process and you have time. So I say enjoy every moment of it. Definitely. And thank you so much for joining me on my matcha talk and sharing with me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you really are, Andre. You are absolutely an incredible artist, and it's just sheer joy working with you and sharing your story that I know is going to inspire so many people. And thank you. So
Well,
hopefully, you're home now. It's a little bit in the evening. You'll be able to just like relax. Is there a little bit of relaxing for a few minutes?
relaxing is just spend the next 8 hours staying up working on freelance. Yeah, that's good. Drinking tons of coffee and tea, and one day I can sleep.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. I have to schedule when I have to sleep. Gotta put that in my phone real quick.
Right, right. Well, I will let you go. So go enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you again so much for taking time to talk with me on my Matcha Talk, Andre. Have a great night and thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful episode of Matcha Talk with the incredibly talented Andre Smith. Working with Andre is nothing short of sheer joy, and I'm so excited to have brought his story to you. You can see his work on my animated series, Bad Day Kate, on the show's website, baddayKate.com. You'll see animatics of Kate and Billy, the breakup, why they broke up, Kate and Felix doing a little bit of food blogging, and one of my favorite scenes, Jack in the Mirror. You'll also get links to Andre's work and his webcomic series, No Play. So everyone, grab those matchas. And remember, go do what you love and love what you do.